All right, guys. Okay, so the channel has been running now for a little while, for a good while now, and the numbers aren't massive. That doesn't really bother me, to be honest. It was never about becoming famous or rich or anything like that. It was really about giving my knowledge to people, which might not sound very genuine. I'm going to explain why that is genuine. Actually, no, that is a little bit of a lie, to be honest. Probably the main motivation for starting the channel was to try and sell some books, which is, I guess, for my own benefit. But the idea really was just to try and give people my knowledge and help them and make them feel some of the things that I feel. Okay, so this video really is about giving. Okay, now before you switch off, think, oh, giving is such a boring subject. And it's not very genuine. All right, I want you to listen to the video, because you will realize by the end that giving isn't actually giving. Giving is getting. Giving is receiving. Okay, so I'm going to explain why. Okay, now, I watched a podcast fairly recently. Podcast with a guy who was an ex-category A prisoner. One of the roughest, toughest, baddest, horriblest prisoners in the system in the UK. And he was talking about his time in prison and how every day, from the moment he got up to the moment he went to bed, it was all about what he could get, what he could have, what he could take, what he could get from people. And you know, and he come to realize that, you know, after he finally got out, that it wasn't ever the thing that was going to make him happy. It's actually giving back to people. And he now gives back to people. He's changed his life around. He goes around schools to talk to people, talk to kids. He, you know, set up various charities to help people. He's probably got a YouTube channel and a podcast and stuff like that, which helps people. And he's probably doing all right for himself through that. And he's probably realized that giving is what actually makes him the happiest, as opposed to trying to take, trying to get, and receiving and stuff like that. It's actually the giving which in the end gets him somewhere, gets him more credibility, gets him, you know, more wealth financially or whatever. It gets him, you know, gets people to like him more and stuff like that, and you know, recognize that his story's a good story to take on board and listen to. But you know, a lot of the qualities that he had in prison, which he was using to do bad stuff, he was quite intelligent. He was switched on. He was hard working. He had a lot of drive and determination, and all those were there already. You know, they didn't come about when he turned his life around. They were already there. And what he's now doing as a, you know, as a inspiration really, is to try and let people know that you just need to channel it in the right direction. And he's giving to people as opposed to getting. Now, I've got a friend exactly the same who went, you know, on a similar journey. He wasn't actually in prison, but he was very close to going in prison for, you know, perhaps some time, because he got involved with some criminal gangs in London as a younger man. One of my oldest friends, actually, and he'll know who he is if he ever listens to this. We grew up together, went to school together and stuff like that. And he got in with a wrong crowd and went down the wrong route and got involved with some pretty, you know, pretty serious gangs in London. And, you know, obviously got involved in a lot of stuff, but he was similar, you know, had a lot of good qualities that were being channeled in the wrong direction. And eventually he realized that, you know, once his girlfriend or wife now is, you know, when she got pregnant with their first child, he then completely switched his life around and used all those qualities in a better way, a more positive way, to help people and give back to society, give people his time and effort and even money, you know. And, you know, a lot of the time people don't realize that when they actually start giving out to people, they actually start getting more in lots and lots of different ways. All right. Now, when I was an athlete, because I was a high level judo fighter, my life really, when I was full-time training, my whole life was really about getting what I could get from people, what I could take from people, what I could, you know, and I felt like everything was about me. Everything that people did was geared to me, you know, as what I ate, what I, you know, my training. I kind of felt very one-sided as to, you know, what I was getting as opposed to what I was giving. But I never really realised that it was a lot more both ways than I realised. I just thought I was quite selfish, and I felt quite uncomfortable about it, to be perfectly honest. But I didn't realise at the time I was giving quite a lot. I was giving my effort. I was giving my time. I was giving my, you know, I was giving myself and the way I treated that person. I wouldn't take the mickey out of their kindness or whatever, and they would basically want me to do well. They would want me to do well because I was a giver in many ways, and I didn't actually realize it. You know, I would help people, I would give them my time, I would give them my effort, I would whatever, and because of that, they wanted to give to me. And I know a lot of givers, and I still, you know, people still give me their money and their time and their love and their help to this day. And I sometimes feel as though I don't give enough back to them, but they always say that they want to do it because I am that giving person. And, you know, when it comes down to it, we can all probably use the analogy of Christmas. You know, when we're a kid, it's all about what we get, what we, you know, what we're getting in our presents. You know, we get however many, 10, 20, 30 presents. And it's all about what we got next. What's this? What's that? You know, and you look at your parents' pile when you're a kid and you sort of think, oh, they ain't got much. And then you see them open up their deodorant or their socks, and you think, oh, that must be so boring being a parent. It must be so boring being an adult at Christmas, because they don't get anything. They just get boring stuff. They've got to do all the work, they've got to cook the dinner or whatever, and they don't get anything. And you don't realize that until you become a parent, a lot of the time, that it's more about the giving. As corny as that sometimes sound, it's all about the giving. You actually get something. You actually get a lot of joy from your child or children opening up their presents and seeing their face. You know, spending the time with your family at Christmas, that is what you're getting. You're getting that kind of time that you don't often get, maybe during other times when you're working. So that's what you're getting. And people don't often realize that, because, you know, they just think it's all one-sided and a person is giving all the time, but they're not just giving and not receiving anything. They are receiving a lot. Now, probably what we quite often don't realize is that givers, they a lot of the time, if you're a real giver, I know a couple of real givers, you know, just give all the time for whatever reason. They give to all sorts of people. They give to random people, but that is to, you know, a lot of the time it makes them feel good. It makes them feel warm and fuzzy inside and all that sort of thing. But they also give because they know that it's being given to a giver. And that's why a lot of the time now, when I get things, when I receive gifts or when I receive help or time or whatever, I don't feel quite as bad about it as I used to. I don't feel quite as uncomfortable as I used to. And the reason is because I do know that I'm a giver as well. I know that I give a lot to people, and I give often to those same people who give to me. Maybe not in a conventional way. I might not give them a gift. I may not give them a present or some money or whatever, but I do give them my effort and my time, and, you know, I help them I love them or whatever, you know. And that's quite important, and that's quite important to them. So so yeah, it's important to be a giver, because you're not really giving, you are actually getting. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. And when we realize that giving is actually getting something, then we'll realize that that's the way to go. And it feels much, much better than just taking all the time and just receiving. And that's the message today. All right. What I want to get from you though right now is a subscription. So if you can subscribe for me, that would be great. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to make the channel massive necessarily. I'm not kind of one for becoming, I don't necessarily want to become a massive brand or famous or anything like that. It's about trying to help more and more people. And, you know, like I say, I'm quite shy. I've said before, quite a shy person. I didn't even make a speech at my own wedding. So it's not like I want to get famous or stand in front of lots and lots of people. It's just, I know that the more people who join the channel, the more people I can help, the more people will feel good. And I'll feel good as well, because giving is actually getting. All right. So, nice one. I'll make another video another time, and see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.